Okay, hi everybody. My name is Michael Wright and I'm the Canine Behaviourist. I pop up every Wednesday on Facebook to talk about all things dogs, really, particularly relating to behavioural issues, maybe some training issues. I'll also talk about some of the stories I come across while looking around the internet. I get various alerts updating me on dog related stories. I'm doing this again because Facebook, I noted after I recorded it, the sound quality is appalling. So until I can work out how to deal with that, I'll do it like this. So I welcome any questions you may have. So either ask them via Facebook or visit my website and ask them via there. And I'm quite happy to talk about them when I do this type of thing. So we're nearing the beginning of November, so it's that time of year again, and we're talking fireworks today. I'm not a lover of fireworks because of the impact upon many of our dogs. Our dogs get very stressed by them and they get very upset by them. Not all dogs, but a lot of dogs. So the dogs I'm interested in are the ones that struggle with fireworks. I've had a number of rescue dogs over years. Some of them have been fine, some of them not so good. I've had dogs that want to go outside in the patio, look up at the sky and howl at the moon when the fireworks are going on. So they're not particularly frightened, but they're not impressed, and they want to tell them that they're not impressed. And I've had other dogs that have been quivering wrecks. I had one dog particularly, Bert, a rescue dog. He was petrified of fireworks, and he'd spend his time shaking and quivering and really distressed, trying to shove himself under tables, into cupboards, you name it, he did it. It's a story probably many of you have come across. It's incredibly distressing for the dog, but it's very distressing for the owners as well because we don't really know what to do about it. So I want to talk about that a little bit more today, and I really want to just give you a few ideas how you might address the potential problem of fireworks and dogs. So I'm talking about firework night predominantly here, but as we know, this is fireworks are becoming an increasingly popular thing. So you get them at Christmas, New Year, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, Independence Day. Come up with a reason and let's let some fireworks off. So on that basis, let's talk about firework night particularly. What can we do about it? Well, if you think about it from the dog's perspective, for us it's nice. We're humans and we like things that go whiz bang and pop and bang and make a noise, and sparkly things and things that flash into the night, and fantastic, all good fun. But to the dogs it's just a terrifying thing. They don't understand it. So the dogs I'm interested in are the ones that are scared. How are we going to help them? There's a number of ways of helping them actually. Let me first of all talk about the things you shouldn't do. There are a lot of so-called experts out there that promote various things you can do, be it the Tellington touch, which is a circular movement you do on dogs. It's very mystical and all that sort of thing. It's utter drivel, and it's if you looked at it in the medical world, you call it quackery. It's not based on any knowledge or any information, no scientific data, just one woman's view on life, and she's made a very nice living out of it. I think it's appalling. That's all I'm going to say about that. There's another thing called the Thunder Jacket. You'll see this advertised widely. It claims to be the panacea for many things dog related. Anything from fearfulness, being scared of fireworks, loud noises, right the way through to aggression. Again, it's based on no scientific data or research whatsoever. It's basically a jacket, there's clues in the title, Thunder Jacket, that you wrap round. And the idea, it's giving your dog a hug. It's giving it a hug. So the dog feels much more comfortable. It's got pressure over certain areas of the body, so it feels much better. Again, utter drivel. It's not based on any data or scientific knowledge whatsoever, just anecdotes. I can show you one person that says it's great, the other person says it's rubbish. I've met people that have used them, appalling things, in my opinion. In fact, I'll go a little bit further. Cuddling or comforting a dog when it's experiencing fear and it's frightened of something, it doesn't really matter what it is, if it's frightened of something, it's not a good idea to cuddle or comfort the dog. We even say there's a good dog, it's fine, it's not nothing to worry about, because to this dog it certainly is something to worry about. And the fact that you're consoling the dog and comforting the dog actually is going to reinforce that dog's fear of whatever the problem might be. It's a common thing. I see it an awful lot. You see a lot of people picking up their dog, they're cuddling them, they're stroking them all the time, they're telling them they're there, it's fine. But actually, from a behavioural perspective, you're just strengthening the fear in that dog. They're getting more scared, more frightened, and the signal you're sending to the dog is, yeah, you're right. This is a very terrible thing. It's a frightening thing, and you're right to be quibbling like a jelly. So we want to do something about that. And we want to be proactive about it. We want to start doing something for these dogs before the event, really. And there's quite a lot we can do. So I'm gonna go through some of the things, not necessarily in any order, but hopefully as I progress it'll make sense. So let's think about the day, if you like, when you know there's going to be these bangs in the sky, you know there's going to be fireworks, you know these dogs are going to get scared. So some of the things we can do. First of all is exercise. Exercise is very important. It's the same if I'm going to train a dog. I'm going to make sure that dog is exercised and a little bit tired. Okay, so it's going to be a bit more prone to be responsive. In this context of fireworks, we want them really well exercised because we want them to be a little bit tired. Maybe it's time to have a little bit of a sleep. So we want to take them for a really good walk, have a really good play session before anything kicks off. Make sure you've fed them so they've had a good meal. That's the first part. So we've now got a reasonably tired dog. The next thing is comfort. We're going to make our dogs as comfortable as we can. So you close the curtains, you close your windows, you make sure the dog's got a place where they like to go. I'm not a lover of crates or anything of that nature, but if you are a crate user, make sure that crate has got some nice treats in it, maybe a Kong filled with something to occupy your dog, comfortable blankets, something that smells of you, all the things that help your dog to relax. But if you're not using a crate, which I don't use, I don't like them, put that somewhere where the dog is used for it to be and it's comfortable being there. Some dogs will even go in open cupboards. There's all sorts of things. So I'm not recommending any of those, but I'm not saying you shouldn't. If your dog's comfortable and happy and relaxed, fair enough. Okay, so calmness. I talk about calmness a lot. You can teach dogs to be calm, but the calmness stems from you initially. So when you know this sort of thing's going to be going on, what you can't do is to show any stress yourself. Again, it's very common. Humans, we do tend to get a bit stressed out, and our dogs pick up on this. So on the days that you know there's going to be fireworks, there's going to be noise, you need to be relaxed and calm and just treat it like any other normal day. You don't want to give your dog any sign or any messages that you're not actually aware you're doing, that something's different and something's going to be happening. Dogs watch us pretty much all of their waking hours, and they monitor our behavior, our smell, our attitude, our body language, you name it, they monitor it. They're very tuned to us. So if you start to show any sort of stress, they're going to pick up on it, and they're going to tend to feel similar as well. Now another thing which is actually quite good is a helping paw. So if you've got friends with dogs, and they've got dogs that aren't bothered by fireworks and they're quite relaxed and quite calm, it's not a bad idea if your friends are amenable to bring your dog, the dog that's not scared, into your home during this time of the fireworks, and your dog may well find that a calming influence. That's certainly worth a go. I've experienced that with my own dogs when I've had more than one dog, and I have seen one dog relatively calm, the other not so much, and they kind of pick up on the calmer dog and can, not always, but can be a little bit more chilled. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now the other thing, now we're going to talk about things a little bit further away from the direct event of a fireworks night and all the noise. We're going to do something before all of this happens. We're going to do some preemptive stuff and some positive stuff that can help our dog cope with it. So the first thing, we're going to try and help to desensitize your dog. So by desensitizing, we're going to help them to become not stressed with the thing that stresses them. So in this case, fireworks, loud noises. So you can either record fireworks yourself or the loud noises that upset your dog, or you can go online and you can Google them, and you'll find that there are recordings available to you on a CD or on some other medium that you can play to your dog. Now that's a very good idea, but you need to be doing this way before the event of any actual fireworks. The object is to get your dog used to these sounds that frighten it and make it react in a negative way. So the way you do this, you get your recording, and you first of all play it at a very low volume, a volume where you can hardly hear it, very low indeed. Now the dog's going to hear that, trust me. And as long as the dog remains calm, that's fine. Reward your dog. So we're putting a little bit of positive reinforcement in here. Reward your dog, tell it what a good dog it is and give it a little reward. And then gradually, very gradually, you increase the volumes. So just turn it up a couple of notches. So now it's a little bit louder, but it's still not very loud. And as long as your dog remains calm, you again positively reward the dog, tell it what a good dog it is, maybe give it a special little treat that it doesn't usually get, a bit of chicken or a bit of cheese or something like that. And that's basically it. So you increase that volume over a period of time and take it up a few notches each time, and as long as your dog doesn't react to it, reward the dog and then keep on increasing it. And the idea is you increase it to a good level, so now it's quite noisy, and as long as your dog remains calm, you're getting there. But at any time you get to a certain level, a certain volume, and the dog is now showing some distress, just dial it back a notch, and then you go at it again, and you keep going backwards and forwards until you get to a point where it's quite loud and your dog's not reacting to it. Desensitization. That's going to help the dog in the long run. So when the real thing comes, you've got a much better chance of your dog remaining calm and not being overly upset by it. Okay, so desensitization. The other thing you can do as far as noise goes, you can put different noises in. So if your dog likes a radio or it likes a television, once you close your windows and your curtains, you can try just turning the volume up on your television, or turning the volume up on your radio, and that can help as well. And on that basis, my dog Ziggy, she gets a bit leery, if you like, with people going by the house, and she gets a bit wound up. Now my wife found this by accident really. Classic FM do a pet sounds show where they play classical music that have been found to be good for animals, and it helps to relax the animals. Now trust me, this isn't a joke, it's true, and it works. So think about either doing some recordings of the pet sounds, or have the pet sounds on while all this is going on if it's available, and you'll be surprised at the impact it has on your dogs. My dog Ziggy, it chills her out. Now I play the guitar, as you can see behind me on the wall there. I don't play it particularly well, but I don't think I'm that bad. But as far as Ziggy's concerned, no, it's not for her. So when I play my guitar, she'll either paw me to try and get the guitar in my hand, she'll bark at me. But the pet sounds, the classical music, chills her out and she goes fast asleep. I've had other dogs that where I've been playing an acoustic guitar, they've slept at my feet. But you know, I've probably got worse over the years. So that's another option. Now, don't worry about remembering all of this stuff because I've got it in a blog post actually. So I will put the link up to the blog post. But if you go to my website, the Canine Behaviourist, just go onto the blog and just search for fireworks, and the page will come up and it'll detail all of this stuff I've been talking to you about. The other thing I'd like to talk about is something called bark flower remedies. Now, bark flower remedies use essential oils of various types. They contain all sorts of things like Star of Bethlehem, rock rose, cherry plum, clematis. You know, that might seem double Dutchy, but they're basically essential oils in very small quantities, and they're contained in a solution, a very light brandy based solution, if you like. And we found this a while back. The dog I mentioned, Bert, he's no longer with us, bless him. He used to get in a hell of a state way before I retrained and studied or whatever, but he used to get in a hell of a state. And Sue, my better half, who's a mindfulness expert, congratulations to her, by the way, for getting her MSc with a distinction. I'm very proud of that. She's very interested in these sorts of things. So we thought, okay, this is a few years back now. We'll try the back flower remedies with Bert. And the way you do it, you put the flower remedies just on the paws of your dog, a few drops, and you can put a couple of drops on their tongue if they'll allow you to. And you do this every hour or so for the first few hours before the fireworks go off. And the idea is it has a calming effect on them. Now, again, you could say, well, that sounds like quackery to me. It's where's the research in that? Well, I can only tell you I've seen it and the impact on this particular thing. I'm going to leave a few links up when I finish this. And the back flower remedies, they do a version for pets now, and I'd highly recommend you giving it a go. It's not dangerous. You can't hurt your dog. You can't give your dog an overdose. But trust me, you might find some quite dramatic results with it. Interestingly, you will have naysayers with this sort of stuff. They'll say, oh, well, it's a placebo effect, isn't it? Well, let me explain placebo to you if you don't understand. I'm sure most of you do. Placebo is basically when you give something to somebody that really has no pharmaceutical value or no actual medical effect, but you tell them it's going to be fantastic. This is going to make you feel a hell of a lot better. Now, some people, they'll respond in such a way they say, oh, I feel marvellous now. I feel fantastic after that. Although you've given them something that might be just a sugar pill. That's the placebo effect. Now, of course, dogs don't know that. So I can just say it works in my experience, and certainly other people that I've recommended it to, they've had similar type experience. So worth a go. You never know. So all those links I'm going to put up later, and you can get them on my website there. Let me just say, when we used that for Bert, the back flower remedy, this jelly of a dog who was petrified, you could have had World War III, heaven forbid, going on outside, and nuclear explosions going on, and he wouldn't have woken up. He just went to sleep, fast asleep, and good as gold. Didn't wear him after that at all. So I'd recommend them just from my experience, really. So I think that's probably all I want to talk about today. There's some of the ideas, but let me just say the last thing about the back flower remedy. I use it in such a way, or I don't use it with my current dog because she's not bothered. But with Bert, we used to give it to him a good week before, 2 or 3 times a day, a good week before, and then a little bit more on the day, a few hours before and during, and it worked. That's all I can say to you, that it worked. So there's a few suggestions. The last thing I'd say to those people that have got dogs and maybe have got children, and the children want to have fireworks and whatever, well, that's fine, of course. Now, if your dog's not worried, that's all very well as well. But if your dog's worried at all by fireworks at all, and you can't do the stuff I've just described, take your children to an organised event, but don't do it in the back garden. because some people say, oh, it's only once or twice a year. Yeah, but that once or twice a year for your dog is horrendous. It's horrendous. So that's all I've got to say about fireworks. With the current climate with COVID, I quite happy to offer help to people via video conferences. I prefer to see people directly, but these days that's not necessarily a good idea. So take a look on my website. I can help you via video conferences, and you can send me pictures or videos of your dog for me to evaluate as well. I'm quite happy to, if anybody's interested, to do one or two live sessions, actually either on Facebook or whatever other medium I end up using, where people can actually see how we operate and how we do things and how we can help dogs. So I think that's it for now. Thank you very much for taking the time to view this whenever you may. I will put this back up onto Facebook. I will also put it onto Instagram, Twitter, anywhere else, YouTube. And okay, I think that's it. Right, thank you very much, and I will be around next week. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.